What's going on YouTube? Kigerr here, and today I'm answering kind of a weird question, making this into a series, and people will tell me, hey, when do I get my third weapon? When do I get my fifth skill? Things like this. There's another game, Legends of Neverland, Southeast Asia SEA, completely different app, completely different development team, and I'm going to show you the differences between the SEA version and the global version. Today we're going to be talking about skills. Let's get into it. Alright guys, we're going to be talking about the differences as far as skills are concerned with Southeast Asia and global. So if I swap over here, this is the Southeast Asia one right here. You will see at the top there's already a difference. You have gold and skill ribbons like we all do, and you see this has 61k but doesn't have all their skills maxed even on this one weapon right here. Why is that? And that is because of up here in the top right hand corner, the class specific rubbings. So regular skill ribbons work the same way as you know from global. Pretty easy to get and helps ranks up your stuff. But if I wanted to put this to 5, it doesn't cost skill ribbons anymore. From 1 to 10, before awakening, they cost skill rubbings, which a lot of people have issues with the awakening stuff. And then like changing characters or what have you. Once you awaken, then they start requiring class-specific rubbings, which are really, really hard to come by, which you can see is why several of these abilities aren't anywhere near max. This is level 200, kind of maxed out character, and just can't max things because it's that hard. One thing to point out is you'll see they have 3 weapons up there at the top. And in global, you are aware of primary and secondary. Well, this is kind of free flowing. So if I wanted to remove, and then go to my bag and pick, I got the 4 weapons right there, right? I think gun was the one that wasn't equipped before. So I will equip, and now I am a gun primary, because there is no primary or secondary as far as the Southeast Asia version. I will also show you, once I replace, I will also show you another major difference. One is that they have 5 skills on the right instead of the 4 that we are aware of, and they can use any skill from both sides. And how their passives work is if you pick at least 3 of one side, that becomes your passive. So if you pick 3 gladiator abilities, you are a gladiator. And then you'll also see the dodge has been moved. It is now to the right of the basic attack, and the jump has been moved. It is under your basic attack. Furthermore, the bottom right hand corner, you'll see the arrows. That is the swap system. So you hit swap, and then whatever weapon you want to go to, swap whatever weapon you want to go to with no cooldown. And that's a big deal. That's, if you think you have OCD, you have not met an SEA player. What I like about NA is that you have to have tempo with your abilities. You're like 1, 2, 3 swap, 1, 2, 3, 4 swap, and then you actually see the little lights pop up telling you which abilities are ready, so you can focus on what you're doing between the 2 classes. Now, really what I wanted to dive into is the abilities themselves are different. The passives to the outsides are about the same, slightly different numbers, but it's mostly damage or crit damage. I'm just going to look at the gladiator abilities just to show you the an idea of the differences. We're not going to go over the archer, book, or cannon. I'm just showing you the differences between the two. So if we take a look at the top right ability, uppercut, same base skill, jump forward, deal damage, but it does not heal like the North America version, but it gains a shield for 6% of your max HP for 2 seconds with a 5-second cooldown. Let's check out. This is the North America, global version, which sprints forward, does damage, and you get 15% of the damage dealt as a heal with a 15-second cooldown. So we already see one's a heal, one's a shield. The one that's a heal has a much longer cooldown, 3 times the cooldown as the Southeast Asia version. Then we already see some weirdness going on here, because this is the Southeast Asia and this is North America. You will see some abilities got moved around. Punitive Chop that's on the left is now on the right over in Southeast Asia. I like this a lot better because as you get down, these abilities are really like your ultimate and like your semi-ultimate, and the top two are okay across the board. Here's an interesting change right here, is the global cross chop. I use this when I play sword on occasion. When I do PvE, even though it's an attack down, I like to use this in PvE because of the 6-second cooldown. I get to use this more often. So okay damage, hits twice, lowers attack, and pretty low cooldown. Let's check out Southeast Asia, which is deal damage twice, same thing, and stuns for 5 seconds with a 30-second cooldown. A 5-second stun is massive, especially talking to you global players, dealing with the 4-second stun of Licorice. But in Southeast Asia, they have a stun resistance stat, which lowers the duration of that stun. So that 5 seconds is really going to be about 2.5, depending on what your resistance is looking like. I just thought this was a very stark difference of a skill. Still staying in regular left abilities, Gladiator. Let's check out Moonslash. Deal AoE damage. And on both of them, it doesn't say it, but they both do it. It pulls people around in. They both do this. Gain immunity against knockback and knockout for 5 seconds with a 10-second cooldown. When we check the English, the global version, we have, where's it at? There we go. Lose 10% of current HP to deal percent flat, and 40% of that 10% that you lost to all nearby enemies. Reduce their movement speed by 80% for 2 seconds with a 12-second cooldown. With the plus side being that you heal based off that damage, which the other one does not have. You see these differences, but you can see that both sides have pros and cons. And then on the North America, the ultimate skill, Punitive Chop. Lose HP, hit everyone in front of you for damage, 24 seconds. Then when we look over on SEA, which is the other side, we have the same base ability, but does 15% more damage when they're under 35% HP with 30-second cooldown. If you thought the 24 seconds on global, that normally gets knocked out, knock up, knock back, what have you. The 30-second cooldown on SEA is ridiculous. It's not as bad as you would think because you have the three weapons, and you can swap as you see fit. But it really does get pretty ridiculous. Let me see. One that I can't see right here. Let me see if I can find it. No, they're all maxed, but in the middle, you will see level 5. You also, on Southeast Asia, have to rank up your actual passives. They're not better or really than the global version, but they are. I'm just trying to get the point across that it's tough out here for a Southeast Asia player, because up here there we go. How to get these? You get a little bit from Abyss, a little bit from Time Trial. Remember, they do not have Fairy Will. You can do Restoration, and you get very, very little amount of that. And Guild Shop, where you can get a small amount per week. So it's tough to come out from those. So you guys think we're dealing with skill rubbings over on Global? Not really anything. But in the next video, we're going to be talking about the differences of fairies, and you're going to see a very interesting difference for Southeast Asia in the next video.